Hello everyone, my name is Zhou Xuelei. I'm a graduate student of Beijing Wuzhu University in China. The topic of my paper to be published today is an empirical analysis of the impact of green credit on industrial structure, which is a work completed by my classmate Zhou and I together. I will report according to the following parts: introduction, literature review, mechanism analysis, variable selection and model construction, the empirical analysis, conclusion and suggestion. The first part is the introduction. The rapid development of China's economy is accompanied by the deterioration of the ecological environment and the depletion of resources. Adjusting industrial structure and maintaining sustainable economic development has become the focus of attention of all countries. In 2007, the People's Bank of China and others jointly issued the Opinions on Implementing Environmental Protection Policies and Regulations and Preventing Credit Risks, and the Notice on Preventing and Controlling Loan Risks in High Energy Consumption and High Pollution Industries. Both stressed the need to focus on meeting the credit demand for energy-saving and environmental protection projects, and strictly control the loan conditions for high energy consumption and high pollution projects. In the guidance on accelerating the establishment and improvement of green low-carbon circular development economic system, issued by the State Council in 2021, the fixed targets for 2025 and 2035 are set respectively, aiming at developing green economy through green transformation, changing industrial structure, energy structure, life and production mode, realizing the improvement of ecological environment, and building a beautiful China. Considering the current situation, green credit as the most important financing method for enterprises has the functions of encouraging the development of energy-saving and environment-friendly enterprises, limiting the credit skill and capital sources of high pollution and high energy consumption enterprises, promoting the merger and reorganization of two high-tech enterprises, and guiding the development of new energy, which is of great significance in promoting the upgrading of China's industrial structure. The second part is literature review. In foreign countries, green credit mainly refers to environmental finance or sustainable financing. The research on green credit and industrial structure upgrading can be traced back to the research on financial development and industrial structure. Many scholars have proved that financial development has a direct impact on economic growth and industrial structure upgrading by building models. In China's theoretical research, scholars analyze the mechanism of how green credit affects the industrial structure. For example, Li Anding, Chen Weiguang, Zhao Xinxin have changed China's industrial structure by means of financial activities. The formation and orientation of capital flow, information catalysis to change the allocation and distribution of credit resources, and differential interest rate policy. These theoretical studies provide a good theoretical basis for our research. In China's empirical research, through the construction of correlation model, PVR model, and China's provincial panel data, scholars have verified that green credit has a certain role in promoting the optimization of industrial structure and has certain regional differences. The third part is the mechanism analysis. We discuss the influence mechanism of green credit to promote the upgrading of industrial structure from the theoretical level. The first is the capital formation mechanism. In response to the call of the National Green Credit Policy, commercial banks will invest a lot of money in energy-saving and environment protection industry to solve the problem of capital shortage of enterprises, so as to promote the green development of the industry and further promote the optimization and upgrading of China's industry structure. The second is the fund-oriented mechanism. The inflow of capital is conducive to the development of green industry, and it will limit the credit skill of pollution industry, so as to guide enterprises to green transformation. The third is the credit catalytic mechanism. Green credit can accelerate the formation and flow of capital by expanding the amount of money, so as to promote the saving of resources and the improvement of efficiency in production. The fourth part is variable selection and model construction. In order to study the impact of green credit on the upgrading of industrial structure, we used the panel data of 30 provinces in China from 2002 to 2019. The following variables are selected. The explained variable is the upgrading of industrial structure. The upgrading level of industrial structure is measured by the product of the proportion of the sum of the added value of the secondary and the tertiary industries in GDP, and the proportion of the added value of the tertiary industry in the added value of the secondary industry. The data are from the database of National Bureau of Statistics of China and EPS database. The explanatory variable is green credit. We use the other scholars' methods to measure green credit by using 1 minus the proportion of interest expenses in 6 major energy-intensive industries. The data are from the China Industrial Statistics Yearbook and China Statistical Yearbook. As for other control variables, we select government expenditure, level of opening up, and economic skill. The data is from the database of the National Bureau of Statistics of China. Next, we build an empirical model, and the specific meanings of the indicators are as follows. The fifth part is empirical analysis. We first use the national data to do an overall analysis, and the results are shown in the figure. The results show that the impact coefficient of green credit on the upgrading of industrial structure is significantly positive at the significance level of 5%, indicating that green credit has a positive role in promoting the upgrading of industrial structure. In addition, government expenditure and regional GDP growth rate have a positive impact on the upgrading of industrial structure. In order to further explore the role of green credit in the upgrading of industrial structure in different regions of China, we divide China's provinces into eastern, central, and western regions, and the results are shown in the figure. The first column is the results of the eastern region. The second and third columns are the results of the central and western regions, respectively. According to the regulation results, we can conclude that the green credit in the eastern and central regions can significantly promote the upgrading of industrial structure, but the promotion effect of the central region is weaker than that of the eastern region. Green credit in the western region has no obvious impact on the upgrading of industrial structure, which may be caused by the following two aspects. First, the development of the tertiary industry in the western region is backward, and the capital market and money market are immature. Second, the value chain of the development and design of high-tech industry has not been transferred to the West. Generally speaking, there are significant differences in the impact of green credit on the industrial structure in the eastern, central, and western regions of China, which are related to the geographical location and economic development of the eastern, central, and western regions. Finally, our conclusions and suggestions. According to the previous analysis, green credit adjusts the industrial structure through capital formation, capital orientation, and credit acceleration mechanism. At the same time, combined with the empirical analysis, we think that from the national point of view, green credit has a significant positive effect on the upgrading of industrial structure. But from the regional point of view, there are significant differences in the impact of green credit on the upgrading of industrial structure. But whether from the national or regional regulation results show that China's economic scale has inhibitory effect on the upgrading of industrial structure, which shows that China's economic development mode is still extensive, and it will take a certain time to transform from quantitative accumulation to qualitative transformation to intensive economic growth mode. In terms of policy recommendations, we believe that, first of all, green credit-related knowledge should be popularized. Secondly, green credit should be carried out according to local conditions. Finally, information sharing platforms should be established. There is still a long way to go on the research of green credit and industrial structure upgrading. We will continue to improve our research in the future. Thank you for listening. Please criticize and correct